Welcome to episode 6 of the WireTap podcast. And we got a special guest tonight. We got Nancy, and you already know who we are. We got Carlos and Alex.
What's
And
up, everybody?
Hey, how are you guys?
pretty good, pretty good. So, you want to kick it off, Carlos? What's the first topic? I think before we jump into it, I want to just say that we're thinking about Texas. I know
Oh
that
yeah,
what's
man.
going on.
That's right.
We weren't ready. Got a lot of people with no power.
Yeah,
There's
man.
there's people that are being found on the streets, frozen. There's people out there with no lights, and so anything out that you guys can do to help out, I think that would appreciate it. And we're keeping Texas in our prayers, and I just want to make sure that they know that we're thinking about them, and that's just that's what's going on in the world today.
That's
But
right. Don't be Ted Cruz, but don't be Ted Cruz going on vacation to Cancun and talk about, oh, I just needed to take my daughters to Cancun. Get out of
oh,
here.
they were cold. It kind of shows you a little bit of how some people have the luxury just to get up and leave, while others can't, right? And they got to fend for themselves, and we got to make sure that we're able to help and support them.
And listen, I don't want to talk too much about this, but I get it. He's on vacation. He's not, they're not in session in Congress. You have the ability to do whatever you need to do on your time. However, you are a senator from that state, right? So if you are a senator from that state, the least that you can do is show up for your state. And here you got Beto O'Rourke, allá viviendo in El Paso. The poor dude is handing out waters, medical supplies. He's doing everything he can. And this guy who is a senator for the state is off in Cancun. And now because the media found out I was taking my daughters to Mexico. Man, get out.
Yeah, it's the wrong
Get out.
thing to do, and retrospect, thinking about it now. But you know what? It is you got to be there for your state, and it just comes to show that some people are not there for them, right?
That's
But
right.
anyways,
That's right.
well, I just wanted to make sure we touch on a little bit about that, and
Real
let's
praise
go
worthy.
ahead and jump into it.
I don't know if you guys remember, Nancy. I don't know if you had a chance to listen to us. We recently talked about a topic. We're in 2021. We're what, 2 months in, barely 2 months in, and here we are looking at 2 months in, and we just finished 2020, probably one of the craziest years that we've ever lived, I would say. But one of the things that we came across on was a platform that called Duo Dater. We recently had a dating opportunity to talk about what dates or what's happening in 2020. I know you recently went on a date. Now, let me ask you this. Are we okay to ask questions about this recent date? Is this dude going to listen to this?
I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Okay,
But yeah,
okay. So
you
we can
can
talk
ask
about him.
just about anything. I'll let you know
Listen.
if I get uncomfortable, but
Okay,
I,
good,
I think
good.
we can pretty much touch all subjects. I
Yeah.
will try to do my best to give you my most humbling opinion because dating, like you've mentioned before, is different.
It's
So
very,
yeah.
very different. It's very different than what we were used to, or you go backwards, what, 5, 10 years, 15, and things have changed. Now
Yes.
everything is done on a platform online, right? If it's not happening online, it's got to be somebody who's introducing you to somebody else, right? Hey, I want
Correct.
you to meet somebody. I want you to get to know this person. It's not the same anymore because the reality is usually relationships take place when you're always surrounded by a lot of people, and in the midst of that, those things, conversations, relationships start to take place. But now in 2020, it is a completely different world. And one of the
It
things that
is.
me and Alex were talking about was, what still takes place today. So we're gonna get the scoop from you. What did this dude do right? And what did this dude do that wasn't so right? Let's not use the wrong word, right? Yeah,
For it,
yeah,
no, let's
that's
get
what
to
the
the
point
juicy
is,
part.
right?
Yeah,
What
let's
did he
let's
do?
no, so let's figure out. So you met this guy. If you can tell us just a little bit of how that happened. How did it go? Like, how did you guys hook up, or where'd you guys go? Like, tell us.
Listen,
Give us a
listen,
scoop.
listen, Alex, before Nancy starts, in 2020, you cannot use the words hook up. What you need to say is, how did you guys link up? You don't say hook up, because if you say hook up, that's a completely different conversation. So, how did you guys link up? There we
If you
go.
guys are
Here's how you know
listening,
you've
just
been out of the game.
hey,
You are
oh,
out of the
hey,
game.
hold on a second. because just in case you guys are on spot, because hey, let's tell the people that we're on Spotify now, so you'll be able to
that's
listen up
right.
to.
That's right. We'll be on Apple. We'll be on Apple in a couple of days as well.
But he made that sound that was moving his hands back and forth for all you guys. They're listening
Just
only.
clapping.
But sorry. So how did you guys link up?
There
And
you
go from there,
So-
Nancy. Give us.
Okay.
job. Great job.
So we met online.
Oh,
Okay.
All right.
Which is very new for me.
did you swipe left or right, or did you do something else?
So no, this is a different type of online. It's not the dating type of app where you would have, I don't know, I guess Bumble or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it on Tinder or whatnot, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
no.
Okay. Like farmers
So-
only type of flow.
Yeah, but not that one. So yeah, so this is just like online,
Okay, all
social
right.
media, to be more specific.
Okay.
So we actually just started communicating. So he liked a picture, I liked his picture, and he just kind of sent me a DM, and we just kind of started conversating back and forth.
This is where we play
Um,
that song Yo Gotti, it goes down in the DM, Alex. This is where we go ahead and do that.
Something
Yeah,
like
no,
that.
Sorry,
We don't
go
want to
ahead.
get copyrighted, but keep going, Nancy.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
But yeah, so we just started, just conversating back and forth. Keep in mind, he did not have my phone number. I didn't have his. I don't want him having my phone because you never know.
course.
You may not go on a second date, and you don't want someone
That's
calling
right.
you up. He's a physical therapist. He's a bit older than me.
Wait. When you say
What?
when you say a bit older, are we talking like hang on. Are we talking like
10 years,
in the
2
late
years?
mid 40s?
No,
Mid 40s?
Just like a couple years older.
4 years
Couple-
older than me.
4?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So he's
not-
almost in his
not-
40s.
Okay, no sugar daddies. Okay, go ahead.
No sugar daddies. No, he invited me to go out. He's a guy that, he's from the Atlanta area. And so, okay, why not?
Why not?
So
Why not?
what did he take you?
So we
Cracker
actually
Barrel.
went to Bucket. No,
Okay.
we don't
Okay.
know. So I drove there, and because, like I mentioned before, he is from the Atlanta area. He obviously knows that area very well. So
Okay,
I
he's
will
from the
say that
perimeter, in the perimeter.
yes,
Yeah. ITP.
So went to a place that's called Botanico. So
Okay. That's
it's
right
like
next
an
to King and
upscale.
Duke. Yeah.
Yes, close.
Okay.
So
that
you
kind of
know,
place, guys, just hold on. That's almost like it's a little bit like Publico's, right? So it's almost the same type of environment. If you guys happen to check that out, that we mentioned it on
Okay.
the last
But
episode.
it's still kind of relaxed.
Yeah, so it's about that same
Yes.
kind of vibe, guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good vibe.
Okay, so
good
you guys
vibe.
went to,
Okay,
It's
so you
a
did good.
smaller restaurant, top roof kind of sort of thing. It had a really good vibe. Really, I would say it is a good place to actually, like meet up with a person and have a drink. So we had a drink, and after that, we walked down to a different restaurant where we could actually like sit and have a meal.
Into like too much details because that's you want to. It's awkward. I get it, but my question is, what did he do right that stuck out to you, and what did he do that you're like, all right, this I'm checked out. I clocked
Okay.
out. Tap it, like
So-
tap out.
Yeah, because go ahead, tell us. Because I touched a little bit about this last time, where if a guy's like too needy or too pushy, girls don't
Got to be
girls
cats.
don't really.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
girls don't really like that. They kind of want to be like smooth, right? So
Treat
give
'em
us your
bad.
feedback. No, not treat them bad. I just give them their space and.
So what did he do right, and what did he do that you're like, you know what, I'm done?
Okay, so one of the things that he did right was he was a complete gentleman. He opened doors. He was really good about making me feel comfortable. He wasn't pushy.
Yeah.
He seemed to be a gentleman, but of course, a lot of the first dates, men will tend to do those sorts of things just to kind of impress. So one of the things that was like a complete turn off for me was
Turn off.
he-
Turn off.
turn off. Yes.
Okay.
Was just the fact that he talked about what him and one of his ex partners did.
So
And
he's not
so-
over it. He's not over it.
I don't know if he's not. It was something for me very I kind of felt kind of awkward. Just because had I been that girl, I would have hated for him to basically tell a complete stranger about something that him and I did intimately.
Okay, so guys,
Intimately, he
so
talked
guys,
about.
Yes.
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
so guys, so here's one lesson number one. If you guys are paying attention, she basically said, don't be telling people about your weird sexual encounters that you had with another partner, especially when you're meeting someone for the first time. I mean, be a little bit more creative.
Alex, question. I don't know about being more creative, but
Reserved,
Alex,
I would
do you?
say.
Yeah. Alex, do you think this was an opportunity where he was leaving the opportunity of
Oh, for sure.
leaving a door open to see how she responds to that? Because if she responds to that a certain way, it gives him a green light or a yellow light or a complete red light.
But it's too soon, right? The
Hmm.
conversation, would you agree, Nancy? Maybe the conversation was very too
Yes.
soon. Maybe a couple more drinks, more conversations, and then you see what that green light or yellow light or red light is, right, Carlos? Like when you were referring
Well,
to.
I personally feel that if we're meeting up for the very first time, keep in mind that him and I have never actually even spoken over the phone or haven't even met. And we'd only been talking maybe like 2 weeks, not every
Wow.
single day, but like every other day, hey, how are you, how's your day going, or whatever. But
Yeah.
for me, I just feel like that was completely out of place. You're meeting someone to actually get to know that person.
So that was a turn off.
Dating is a different. Yes.
So
Yeah.
Very much
was
so.
there, so did this conversation take the majority or the bulk of the date?
Actually, no, it was just like
Okay.
a few, maybe 5 minutes.
That's
Okay.
what I was saying, Carlos. That's what I was saying right there. Maybe it was too soon to check to see where you're at in the
Mhm.
date. Maybe you should give it a little bit more time, more conversations, get to know each other, and maybe later on in the evening or later that
No,
night, you
absolutely.
kind of say, "Oh, what's the craziest thing you've ever done?" and kind of go from there. But so you guys discuss that conversation there. He goes with that, and where did the conversation go after that?
Yeah, what do you say to that? What did you
Yeah,
say to that?
where
What
do
did
you
you
go?
respond?
Well, I just said, whoa, I said, my life is quite boring in comparison to yours. That's kind of because
In other words, I
he could
cannot
tell that
comment
I
to
was
what you're
like,
saying.
let's not go there anymore. And then all of a sudden, he just spent mine, this was a long relationship and, this, that, and the other. But still, like you have,
Trying to
like
recover.
you,
Trying to recover.
Yeah.
yes,
Oh yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
At this
Fumble.
point, you're like, yeah, it's past that point. I'm like, yeah, there's no
Dang.
recovering
Okay.
from that, buddy.
What happened at the end of towards the end of the day? If this was a fumble, this was a crash, even though he said to you, keep in mind this was a long relationship, et cetera, et cetera. How do you end this? How did you end this?
Well, I kind of let it go. I think he could kind of tell that like I wasn't going to go there. And so I did made it clear, I said I am a different kind of girl. I am the type of girl that tends to move a lot slower,
Yeah.
you know? And I
Yeah.
think after that we were okay, and I was willing to just kind of let the night just kind of go and just kind of see where it went. But I will say we did end up going to a different place, and we actually had a beer and we had a good time. We danced. The night was over and I went home. He walked me to my car. I will say overall it was fun, but I don't think he's the type of guy that I would ever be interested in going on a second date.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
oh,
mean,
you ruined it.
it was too soon. It was too
It's too
soon.
soon. And I,
So,
dating right now is so complex just because it's 2021. But, at my age, I'm used to dating a different type of guy. And although we are at that age that you could basically do whatever you want, I was just not raised that way. And I'm a firm believer that like I know my worth and I know I'm not gonna go just to bed just with a random guy that I've never really even met.
so
No.
if I could ask, I know Alex probably wants to ask this question, but uh, what do you define as physical contact on the first date in this situation? Let's just say you guys hit it off right off the bat, right? Let's say he just hit it off. He hit all your skills, right? All your what you like, what you don't like,
Checks
and
out
you
all the
realize, okay,
boxes.
yeah, there's compatibility shooting to the left and to the right, right? So in that situation, uh, what are those boundaries to you right now?
I don't mind holding hands. I don't even
Right.
mind a kiss, but for me to actually get in bed with a guy and get intimate like that, that's like a complete different kind of level. I get it, compatibility, chemistry, yes. But dude, nowadays, I don't know what this guys might have. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I
And
just
think about and here's the thing, and you also had to think about what kind of what kind of individual you're putting yourself out to be, right? To someone
exactly.
you just met, and for that conversation, here's the other part. Uh, for that conversation to take place that early on, it just shows you the world that you are about to dive into, right? It just shows
Exactly.
you what the deal is, and if you don't get on board, what happens now, right?
Right. Right.
So Nancy, so in the evening, as you guys are talking and everything, um, does this guy? You guys talk about any like, oh, does he have any kids? Do you have any kids, or any scenario where where did that conversation go from his side? Is he single? He's been single for a while.
So he's 38, does not have kids, has never been married, has been in, I guess, a few relationships that never really led into marriage or any type of like partnership, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest with you, I didn't go into details about my personal life. I just let him know, I am a mom. We did talk very little about my life because I didn't want to go in depth. We did talk about, he did ask me, have you ever been married or were you ever married? And I said, yes, was very honest with him. And I said, not too honest, because at the end of the day, I don't want to give off too much if I'm really not gonna, have any second
That's right.
dates
That's
or
right.
even,
You
be
should have just scared him off and said, "Yes, I'm married, and I hope my husband didn't put a tracker on my car."
he's crazy and he kills people. No, but we did, I did want to be honest just because if we were able to go, lead into something else, I wanted to be just honest to where he knew, yes, I had been married and yes, I do have a child. You have to keep in mind that my son will always come before anything else, which is more difficult for someone who has been married. I mean, I was married for 12 years with the same person for 19 years, and now we have to co-parent. And so we have a 7-year-old. Dating is very hard just because I understand there's some guys out there who, don't want to take this responsibility of, oh man, she has a kid, or like, how is this going to be challenging? Do I even want to be part of this? Is she even worth pursuing just because, she does have an ex and she does have a kid and she does have a past?
Now, let me ask you this. Alex has been talking about, listen, guys, you guys remember that Alex has been really embracing this piece of self-confidence, that there is something about
Mhm.
a man having an incredible sense of who he is, and that makes him extremely attractive to a woman. Did he have this? Did he lack it? And tell us what you think about that, Nancy. I mean, let's be honest with us. Is that something that you're constantly watching for?
Yes and no. So confidence, yes. But I've learned that some guys can fake it till they make it and fake that they have all the confidence in the world.
Yeah.
And then you go on, a few more dates and then you start seeing, wait a minute, maybe you are not as confident as I thought you were or as you showed you were on that first date. Keep in mind, this isn't my first date. I have been on 2 other dates.
Okay.
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 And
Okay.
so the last 2 dates that I've been on were just that one date and nothing more. My first date, I dated this guy. We did talk for, I don't know, maybe close to 3 months. The scenarios that I've run into was that they seemed really, really confident.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you meet
Absolutely
them in
not.
person and it's like, ugh, what happened to that confidence, you know?
Did
But
it
for
turn
this
into arrogance?
yeah, kind of cockiness
Okay.
too.
Okay. Okay.
Questioning. We all know my culture. I'm Hispanic, and so the guys that I've dated were not. And so keep in mind, different cultures have different views of how we Hispanic do things, or how or why our families act a certain way, or why our families do a certain thing this way or that way. But
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yeah.
particular guy, he was very, how can I put this into words? So I don't think he seemed confident.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
he seemed comfortable in his own body, but I felt like he was a little bit over the top just because he is a physical therapist.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like
Did he go
you
into
don't,
patient mode?
So no, I think what I was asking earlier when she was talking about like, oh, is he single or anything?
Yeah.
Because it leads me to
Are you
believe,
interested?
yeah,
Sorry, go
because
ahead.
because it leads me to believe that the way he was asking the questions and immediately go into, hey, this maybe could it be a possibility he was just looking for a night of an actual hookup, right?
oh
Like
yeah, I'm
maybe
sure
not,
he was.
But do
maybe
you
not an
expect that from the website that you were on though?
No, actually, because through this
yeah.
website,
See,
you
that's what I'm.
actually have to go through different hoops to kind of be matched with a certain type of person. So maybe I'm just attracting the wrong type of man instead of the right type of man. I don't know. But yeah. And one thing I will say, don't do if you go on a date, do not talk about politics. Please
Pay
don't do that.
attention, fellas. Pay attention. Do
Yeah.
not
Please
talk
don't, don't,
about
don't.
politics.
So if you
Do
don't
not
know,
do that.
Carlos not too long ago happened to go to a really strong breakup as well, in kind of similar to a little different situation than what you went through, and I don't know if
I didn't
Carlos
know we
wants
were
to
gonna get
open up.
personal. I didn't know we were gonna get personal.
I didn't know
I didn't know
either,
that.
but
I
maybe
thought we
But
set
you
these
know,
boundaries for Nancy, not for Carlos.
but I think that maybe if you want to share just a little bit of how your dating experience was when you were going through that small before you met the right person and you created a life, right? If you
Yeah.
circle back, not maybe go into full detail. I don't know how much you want to disclose, and I didn't mean to put
That's
you on the
because you got
spot, but
stalkers. You know, you got stalkers on here. But go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
it's like I think it's important to maybe share your little experience of when you were dating and how that went for you.
You know, I'll be real with you, Nancy, and I believe Alex knows this. If I could sum it up in a few words of what the dating culture, in my perspective, is like today, I would say that it's very different. It's
mhm,
not what you expect, and the people that you encounter, you almost get a sense of it's all surface, right? It's all
mhm,
surface. It's never, it's hardly real, right? Social media matters. So if it didn't get posted, it didn't happen, right? But if it gets posted and people see it, then they can kind of read who you are. But what's
mhm,
interesting is when that first step takes place and you move towards this opportunity or this decision to say, all right, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to be vulnerable, right? Because that's the
right.
first one. I'm
Mhm.
going to be vulnerable. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be honest. You get to a point where you say, you know, I just hope I don't fall into that type of way of doing life, right? Because
Right.
when you get to a point where you say, I might as well just settle, then you compromise everything and who you are, and you just become like those individuals that you see and you encounter, right? Where they're fake as well, because you have
Yes.
now turned into that fake individual because you can't
Mhm.
expose the real you. Because if you expose the real and raw you, then you feel like I may not be accepted, right? I may
Right.
I may not be allowed into this circle that is so imaginary to me, but it's real and it exists. And it's just, listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm going to say this and I'm going to say this once. This will be the last time I'm going to say this. My first one was the most awkward. This was an, This individual, I don't know how. Unfortunately, I used the wrong platform. Let's just say this individual wanted to skip everything that we were about to wanted to take place, and let's just get to know each other on a different level. And for me, I had to check my manhood and say, wait, what? Huh?
Because then, yeah,
This
because
is
maybe
this is too easy. This is too easy. This is not the way this works. You know, there's got to be a dance, right? There's got to be this back and forth, this connection,
Right.
this opportunity to just get a sense of who you are and who I am. And it was just
Exactly.
completely different for me. It was completely different. Listen, I'll say this. There were no doors locked. Let's just say that, right? There were no doors locked. And I just had to walk away. And I did. I still remember leaving Atlantic Station saying, what did I just do? Like,
what did
not
you
what
get
did I
yourself into?
yeah, like what just happened? And it was a reality check for me. I literally spent the whole ride home, no music, no nothing, just thinking
Thank you.
like,
Contemplating.
world
Yeah.
am I in? Like just how complicated is this world that I'm in, right? And I knew there was complications. I just did not know, right? So I will say that I completely understand where you're coming from. I will say that culture plays a role, but it is not the whole story, right? I
Right.
did get a chance to connect with individuals who were not my culture, and kicked it off really well, and there was probably potential there, but other things took place,
We're
right?
not dating
But
potential. Remember that.
yeah, you're not
Yeah,
dating
you're not dating
potential.
potential. You can't
No,
make
no,
somebody.
no, no,
No,
No,
no,
no.
no, no, no,
that
no.
is the number one thing. No, no potential.
No, no, no. But
So
here's
let's
but here's
so
the
let's
other.
circle. Go
Hang on, Alex. You open this can.
Go
Listen,
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. I
you
was trying to
don't
save
you
you. I was trying to
don't
save.
date potential. But here's the thing: you also, in the situation that you're in or you come out of, you don't want to jump into something so long term
No.
immediately right away, right? Because you have not
Right.
had a chance to heal, right? And if you don't give yourself that chance to heal, then you will never heal. And what happens is you begin to carry that baggage with
Mm-hmm.
you on that next relationship. And it
Mm-hmm.
begins to affect everything that you do, because all you're doing is carrying this baggage that you have not allowed yourself to either let go or heal,
From
because
episode.
you're still living in that,
Yeah.
right? So look, I told you, why did you bring this up?
No, no.
This
It's
is a
good. It's
can
good.
that you shouldn't have canned open. So,
No,
but
no.
I will say, Nancy, I'm proud. I'm proud of you for getting in there. I'm glad that you put those gloves on, but it is a different world in the world of dating in 2020.
Yes. Very different. I was actually discombobulated on the way home. I was like, well, okay.
So Nancy, so tell us, okay, so what is a woman like you is looking in 2021? What is she looking for? Like, what's a good first date? What kind of topic? Help her listeners out there to catch a girl
Give
like
them
you.
your profile.
Well,
I don't know. They may be interested.
so I'm there for myself. I am very old timey. I believe that a man should court a woman. That's just me. I feel like if you really truly like that person and you're truly interested in that person, you will court her. Second, forget about finding the perfect woman. There's no perfection there. Some of us have baggages. Be willing to accept that. And for myself, just don't talk about hooking up and, don't talk about your intimacy or your personal life. Don't talk about your exes. Like for me, just treat me with respect. Just be respectful in all aspects. I'm not expecting to like kick it off with a guy and say, oh, I'm going to marry him. We're not expecting that. I'm not expecting that. But what I am expecting is for someone to show me I'm interested. Don't be afraid of like letting me know that you are interested in me. Don't play the mouse and cat game, because I hate that. I feel like guys tend to do that most of the time. You like somebody, that person texts you, please don't take forever to reply to those messages. Like there's no sense in trying to make that person wait. Like, what are you waiting? Like, why?
You listening,
I
Alex?
hate that. I hate that.
Well, the thing is, but what if we're busy? Some of us have
Well,
busy,
you
But if
can
you're
busy
say,
busy,
schedules.
you
but
can
you
still
can
show
say, hey,
interest.
yes, Yes,
True.
say, you know what? Can't talk right now. I will either text you or call you later. Okay.
Okay.
The first guy I dated, we would text and then he would go 3 days, 4 days without texting back. And then,
That's
oh, hey,
that's
I'm sorry. I
disrespectful.
missed that. No, you didn't.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
you
No, that's
didn't.
different.
Like,
I meant like if you missed a text message and saw it a couple hours later, be like, oh, sorry, I was busy, blah blah blah. I didn't mean 3 days go by. I'm talking about maybe like an hour or 2 hours. But of course,
okay,
if
well,
you
yeah,
text me,
maybe
yeah,
that's
yeah,
acceptable. Maybe that's
yeah.
acceptable. But for me, I'm just looking for a guy that is open, that is respectful, that is accepting, that is willing to put in the work, a guy that has no time for games because I'll be honest, I'm 34. I work a full-time job. I go to nursing school and I have a son. I don't have time for games. And if you're just here to waste my time and to use me as your entertainment, guess what, buddy? Go buy a ticket to the movie theater or go buy a ticket to go to a circus because that won't be me.
I think both of them are close.
Social distancing doesn't allow us to go to the movies or the circus.
Yeah, yeah.
We get
Okay.
away with
Well,
it.
We got the drift
well,
though. We
You know
got the
what?
drift.
You know what I
We're
can
good.
say. You know what I will say. You know what I will say in response to that, Nancy. I will say, if a man is really interested, check this out. If a
mhm,
man is really interested, and you begin the conversation by setting these boundaries right off the bat,
mhm.
you're gonna know what kind of man you got in front of you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
And
For
I
sure.
that
agree. I
is
agree.
one
For
thing
sure.
I'm not afraid of doing because for me is, you know what? I don't want to waste your time. Don't waste mine. I'm just going to let you know how it is, what I expect. And if you don't like it, then that's fine.
Well,
Well,
let's leave
yeah,
it
I
at
mean,
that,
we do.
guys.
We appreciate it. We appreciate you being very open with us. We appreciate you telling us about the date. I'm excited to find out. Maybe the next time you go on a next one, you could let us know how it went. If there's going to be a date number 2, would you agree, Alex?
Yeah, yeah, no, I mean, and maybe if our listeners are interested in female gives their perspective on certain topics, we're willing to do that, and kind of like we brought Nancy on just to kind of give us and what's going on in 2021 dating, how's
Yeah,
that looking like?
yeah.
So,
A woman's
oh,
perspective that we
yeah,
don't usually get, right? I mean, that's
yeah,
necessary, I think.
yeah, but let's go on to our next subject. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember last episode we were discussing about the 7 rules of life, and Carlos kind of touched a little bit earlier with his little when he was talking about his personal experience, and is you got to learn to let it go. That was number 1, right? And Nancy, so we talked about 7 rules. It's just generic. It's something that we just elaborate. But rule number 1 is learning how to let go of things so we can move on. So for this one episode, it's gonna be number 2, which number
Yeah.
2 is ignore them. Don't listen to other people. Live a life that empowers you. And what does that mean for us? And I'm gonna let you, since you're our guest, if you wanna, what does that quote tell you? And then I'll let Carlos, and then I'll share my opinion. How do you, again, ignore them? Don't listen to other people. Live a life that empowers you. What does that mean to you?
So for me would be achieving your goals, your dreams. More often than not, we will have these dreams and goals that we want to, accomplish for ourselves. And a lot of times we have other people in our ears telling us you can't do it, but it's not possible, you know? So for me, it would be more so do it for you. Don't worry about what they're saying. It doesn't matter how many walls you have to go through. You will get it done if you want it that bad. For me in my personal life, being a divorcee, going to nursing school, I have many people to tell me, but how are you going to do it? You have a child that you have to take care of, and you have to, like, how do you manage to do all of this? How can you make it possible? Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I've had in my own family people telling me, or not even necessarily telling me, but hearing them tell someone else the reasons why I should not go forward, and the reasons why I should just focus only on my son and not focus on other things that will eventually open up a different door for myself and my son. So I feel like for me it's just accomplishing those goals and just not listening to maybe your own fear your own insecurities, your own mind playing tricks and telling you can't do this, much less listening to other people telling you, don't do it, or you can, or how are you going to make this possible, you know? So,
Good,
but it
good,
may be,
good stuff.
it may have a different meaning for different people. But at least for me, this is what, it means, or how I take it.
Yeah, some good stuff. Good stuff. Carlos, we'll go.
No, no, no! Don't flip this on me. Let's think about this on you really quick, Alex. I have to bring this up because I can think of certain situations since you and me know each other personally. I think about rule number two, and Nancy brings up a very good point. But sometimes I think we get to a point in our life where we fall into the living a life that is tempting for us to want to live. That the reality is we really don't want to live it, but there is a pressure there that kind of encapsulates us, right, to live this way. So tell me about you, Alex. I mean, give me
Okay,
a
so
situation where you have fallen into or you've caved into living a certain way because you feel this pressure coming in. I mean, I'll let you go ahead and kick that one off for
so
sure.
I'm not 100% sure where you're going with that, but
Yeah.
I think there's been multiple situations where we've had people around us not believing in and believing in your abilities or what you're trying to achieve, or they don't fully see the dream or where you want to go. And it's okay for people not to understand where you want to go, because I think that you have to believe in yourself, and that should be enough, to carry you where you want to go. And people are going to talk, and people are going to pull you down, but once you get there and you're on top, some of those people are the ones that are cheering you, or they can't believe, or they're envious of where you're at in the position. But if you don't empower yourself, and that's kind of what this message is, don't listen to them, right? Because they're trying to drag you down. And you got to empower yourself and do it. How do you do that? By finding your passion, by not waiting around, taking action in your mind, and then actually implementing it. There's different other ways that you can empower yourself, right? Some people, being kind to somebody empowers them to feel better about themselves. So it's not just about going and getting that whatever you want. It's about just empowering and being at ease. And that's the way I think that is translating, right? Like, as a rule, just empower yourself,
Yeah.
believe in yourself, carry your dreams. And I know I'm repetitive on this, but I just want to make sure that it sticks with somebody, that I really do believe that you gotta just pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
You have an idea of where you're going. Think about you, Carlos. Think about if how many times somebody might have tried to say something, persuade you, and even like the position that you're at now, right? Can I handle this? It's like, dude, you're not ready for that. Well, this is that. Instead of like having people encourage you, like, dude, get that,
Yeah.
man. That's your mentality. I think you can do it, and then
Yeah.
actually executing, right?
Yeah. Of
And
course.
that's what I would say. I'm not sure where you were going with that, but
I was
that's what
I
I would
was
say.
I was leading up to the approach of politics, how sometimes we're so easily swayed, right? This
Mhm.
morning when I called you, I was talking about Rush Limbaugh and how he passed away, and I was messing with you because I knew there was some things that he had said throughout the years that you really kind of ate the cheese that he was feeding, right? And I thought to myself, it's different how you have changed your idea on politics, and I think the only reason that has changed is because you have found your voice and what it means in your life, right? So
So,
the reason I was saying that is because I've seen a shift in your political approach that I'm quite proud of, to be quite honest with you, because
well,
you get to a point where you're too radical on your right. You're not leaving any room for the left to come in and to say, well, let's think about this, right?
no, so it's definitely in, rest in peace to Rush, right?
Yeah, yeah,
For
no,
whatever,
absolutely. That's a
for
different
whatever
story. Yeah, yeah,
reason, or what, he's important to some people, and some people really I like to be super open minded. When he was on the air, he had some ideas. Sometimes they were a little bit very pushy, right? Then you got some other ones more like Sean Hannity, and sorry for my super right core, but he, to me, I used to listen to him a lot, right? And he became
yeah,
super radical to me.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
look, listen, I don't care from what side of the politics you're at, you're in the left or the right, and we said it, I'm more of independent now, and I listen to both sides and make my own conclusions,
Which
right?
is different if we go back 5 years ago,
Oh no, for sure. But listen,
maybe
listen,
5 weeks ago. I don't know.
no. But listen, you gotta listen to both sides and make your own conclusion.
You
What I
do. You
don't
do.
like, what I don't like people right now today, and sorry to talk about politics, is, but it's basically they listen to somebody, they don't agree with them, but then they go and defend them. And I'm not talking about Trump, just in general, everybody.
But it
And
sounds that way.
yeah, no. But they go and defend them. It could be from Hillary Clinton or whatever, right? They
Yeah.
go and defend them hardcore, and it's like, no, we're humans. You can say like, hey, I vote Republican or I vote Democrat, but I don't agree with that. I don't believe that, and then go from there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But,
No. No.
but
No.
no, but don't. But listen. Let me. You're trying to evade the question here. We really want to know, what do you take from
Yeah,
that quote?
no. What I get from that quote, listen, I think for me, when you get to a point in your life where you want to receive the ability to be empowered, things change, right? Sometimes we live in a certain way where we don't realize we need to be empowered, right? Because we've
Mhm.
been bogged down so long, or we've been pulled in a certain way where we see life in a perspective that we've been so used to, and you're in a way no longer empowered. You are now kind of enslaved to a certain way of things because you never could think for yourself, right? You could never really feel or experience true empowerment as an individual. So, to me, what I would say is listen to them, process it, right? Listen to them, process it. And if it's not enriching, if it's not empowering, then you got to get those individuals out of your circle, right? Because if you do not remove those individuals out of your circle, they're going to continue to drag you down. And if we continue to allow, if I continue to allow, if any of us continue to allow someone to drag us down, then we're never going to feel what empowerment means, right? That's the whole thing of the Me Too movement, right? The Me Too movement, the only reason all these women started to come out, because all it took was one individual to say, here's what
And the
happened.
courage, right?
Here's what took place, and no longer will I stand for it. And I think that's what happens is you have to get a point in your life where you say, I'm done. It's going to hurt. It's going to be sacrificial in so many ways, but I have to find this for the sake of myself, right? I have to find this for the sake of me believing and knowing that this is going to create incredible momentum because I have been empowered. But that's my take. So I don't have a certain agenda on it. I don't disagree with rule number 2, but I do think you need to still listen to people. It's as DJ Khaled says, right? DJ Khaled says, don't listen to they. They don't want you to eat. They don't want you to succeed. Yeah. They don't. But what about the ones that do, right? What about the
Oh,
ones that
yeah.
those
And
there,
and
right?
I
Those
think this
guys
quote,
around.
yeah, and I think this quote is probably talking about the people that are negative or being negative towards your ideas. I don't think necessarily, and I agree with that little portion, right? I don't necessarily think that they're discourage you from listening to the right people, because obviously there's people that come into your life that are trying to enrich you, like you said, or enrich your life or teach you
Yeah.
something, and you need to take that experience, apply them, and then get more and more and more and educate yourself, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And here's what happens. And you guys step in at any point you need to, you feel like you got to jump in. But here's what I think happens to everybody is we get to a point where there are people in our lives. And here's the thing. Sometimes it's family,
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
right?
most
Ooh,
definitely.
Sometimes,
Yes.
get in, go, get 'em.
Yes.
listen, sometimes it's family.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes it's those close friends that you've known for ages. And it's people that you respect, that you admire. And what it begins to do, it begins to create this friction, right? It creates this
Mm.
friction inside of you. It creates this friction in the relationship, and it begins to stretch this relationship incredibly ways that you never thought it could be stretched. And what it begins to do, it begins to create stress, right? It begins to stress you out. It begins to breed, I hate using the word toxic because now we've we've over
Toxico.
yeah, I
Toxico,
hate it.
yes.
I hate it. Because we've overdone it. We've taken it and we've destroyed it. But here's the thing. When you allow those people to create that toxic environment in your life, even if it's family, at some point you've got to walk away, which kind of leads us into the next
No, but
aspect
hold on. I don't want to
of
jump.
de-stressing.
No, but hold on. I don't want to jump past that because I think it's very important what you're just saying, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you got to do what's best for you, and even if it causes friction with the people that you love the most, with your friends or whatever, and even it's just to go because you touched on family, right?
Yeah.
Even if sometimes if it creates a friction, it's better sometimes. I think where you got your child and a parent, and they're like, well, my parent doesn't let me do this or whatever, and you're like, well, tell your dad you don't want to go to college, you want to pursue your dream, and you know what, if you
Want
make
to
it
be a
successful,
dancer. Yeah.
well, if
Go
you're
ahead.
successful, they're gonna be the first ones that are cheering you, right?
Yeah.
But what you do is most of the time we don't say nothing, and what that does, it causes a tear, and you have that resentment. Instead of being upfront, have them mad for a little bit, they move past that and you move on. You
Yeah.
rather hold this resentment for years and years until it builds, and that's not a way to live, and that actually that doesn't empower you.
Mhm.
You
No,
know,
it bogs you down. It bogs
it
you
bogs
It
you
down.
does.
down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what,
No, yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
No, it
and then
creates
it's
tension.
stressful, right? So going
It
into
is.
what you
It
were talking
is.
about, so how do we distress ourselves? So
You hear that? You hear that?
yeah,
Let me give you an
that's how you
inside look at
distress
my world.
yourself.
Yeah. Listen, this is how I de-stress. You hear that right there?
The ice
That is,
biting on ice.
I am a ice chewer, bro. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you chew ice. I probably don't have any more enamel, but that's how I de-stress. Anytime I get into a situation where I feel stressed, overwhelmed, perhaps maybe even bogged down, I tend to turn to things that perhaps could be unhealthy. You know what I mean? In this
Mm.
situation, there's an unhealthy component in that.
Hey,
Some
Kitty.
people say, well, you have, some people are like, you may just have an iron deficiency, Carlo. No. I don't have an iron deficiency. I have a coping mechanism that I am trying to cope with. And it is unfortunately creating this unnecessary thing in my life. And that's what I turn to, right? And we all have different ways, the way we deal with stress, the way we deal with friction, as we just talked about. That is my coping mechanism. But this article that I found, did you guys get a chance to read it, about 10 ways to
So
de-stress?
Nancy. So what's that? I mean, yeah, I so touch on it, but I'm curious
Let's
to
call
see,
that
like,
physical therapist.
yeah, right. So I was just about to say, Nancy, well, what's in the guy's number? Help us de-stress or something. But, but well, how do you cope with it? How do you distress yourself when you got school? You mentioned you got school. You got a full-time job. You got your kid. Like, how do you use that to cope? Like, what do you do?
So for me, it's taking a long, long shower and then going to bed. And
Okay.
when
Okay.
I get the chance, I do like taking long walks. Sometimes just even a drive in the mornings, dropping off my son, and then just me driving to work, or even in the afternoons driving back. Fortunately for me, I get days where I don't have him. So, I can pretty much just do nothing and just kind of focus on myself,
Mm,
whether it be, just taking a nap, listening to music, or just taking a long shower, you know, or just
yeah.
sitting there meditating, or just sitting there, just praying or reading a book,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
everyone does
Yeah. Or
cope
listening to El
differently.
WireTap, that always
Or that
de-stresses me.
too.
I mean,
But
I
I
think
can't
we're
take full credit because I've done counseling, and I will say my therapist that I had a while back, gives good tips. So I can pass the number along.
Well, let's see
and
if
she's
it
got
compares.
and she's got a good therapist right here. I mean, I get
Yes,
this
for
all the time
free.
for
Well,
free. I don't
she's
charge
gonna
you.
send you back. You're gonna get a refund. So,
Hey.
so now that you say this, Nancy, it actually brings up. This is from virtuahealth.org. If anybody's listening, of course, and this is a thing for you. You've gone on our channel and you've gone straight to the de-stressing piece. It's Virtua Health. And there are 10 things that this particular article, this particular blogger, if I'm not mistaken, says that there's 10 quick ways. Now, this is 10 quick ways to de-stress. So Nancy, I'm going to shoot these off, and you tell me if by any chance your therapist at some point hit this up. And listen, I think therapy is great. Believe me, I've been there. Here we go. Change the environment. That's a good
Yes.
one. I like that. I
Yes.
like that. Practice breathing exercises. Been there. Yep.
Most definitely. Yes.
Do my yoga. Meditate. You talked about praying. Okay.
That's the next one. Pray.
Oh, that's the next one. Praying. Sorry. Meditate is just honestly just reflecting. I get it. Just quieting the mind. I think it is. Have you guys ever used the Headspace? Have you guys ever used Headspace?
Oh, actually, yeah.
Bro, Headspace is awesome.
Yeah, I've used Headspace, especially.
I love the way that man speaks when he tells me to calm down.
Right. Yeah. So I've used it actually to come at night, right? And it's a pretty good one. That's a good one, distressing.
Yeah.
Keep going
So
with your list, and then I'll share my opinion.
And then do relaxation exercise. Relaxation exercises. Go walking or running. You talked about walking. Practice a rhythmic activity. So again, it kind of falls into walking or running. But
it's just repetitive.
Also drum on a table with your hands or a few pencils. All right, sure, if that's your flow. Immerse yourself in a creative outlet. Some people like to color. There's adults that love to color now, right? That's like a thing in the adult world, right? Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, and I've actually tried that. I have tried that, and maybe I had the wrong book, but it stressed me out more than it relieved my stress, to be quite honest.
Maybe
we scratched that. Yeah, we scratched that one off the list then.
Some say it's cooking and baking,
or
something that requires concentration, focus, physical activity. Basically, just getting yourself away from what you're constantly always doing.
Distracting your mind.
Yeah, absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. Express your feelings. I tend to do that a bit too much, but when I need to get it off my chest, I gotta get it off my chest. Whether it's good, bad, ugly, it's gotta happen. Yeah. It's got to happen.
So you've been come here, come back. I'm not done.
I'm not done. Come here. All right. So here's the last one. And I really do like this. And I think what happens. Here's the empowerment, right? Here's the empowerment. I think this flows with the empowerment piece of the 7 rules of life. It says, be in the moment with one of your senses. Sometimes we do not live in the moment. We don't take in everything we're doing in that moment. We get so caught up in the output, in the to-do list. Everyone's got a to-do list. Everyone's got a calendar. I got it on my phone. I got it on my tablet. I know what I'm doing just about every hour of the day, which is not exactly the way it should be, because I need to think for myself, right? But what happens is we get so consumed in things that sometimes we're missing something that literally is right in front of us because we have not taken the time to be in that moment, right?
Or put your phone down, right?
Yeah, put that phone down. Flip it over. Absolutely. Put that phone down. Put it over. Real soon, I'm probably going to jump on that challenge where you try to minimize the amount of time that you're on your phone. I don't know if any of you have seen that. Because it's got those apps now that tell you how long you've been on the phone for the day.
So actually, I think Nancy and Lily actually did that, right? So they were off for a week, no social media. It kind of breaks that habit of constantly checking your phone. That's why, listen, that's why I don't really check my phone during the daytime. I check it at night because I'm working and I don't have the luxury of time to sit there and just be on social media, right? So I only consume it just at a certain small space of time, unless someone send me something important. But other than that, I keep it small.
Yeah,
I'm not on it all day.
So someone said to me the other day, I was talking to somebody and I said, man, I will drive an hour and a half to 2 hours just to get a specific food. And it's interesting because let me just read really quick to you what it says on number 10. It says, be in the moment with one of your senses, whether that's sight, smell, sound, and taste. You'll be amazed how quickly the stress melts away when you focus on just one of them. Eat something that you crave and savor each bite. Light a scented candle and breathe in your favorite scent. Listen to a wonderful piece of music and let it take you away. Look at something beautiful in your surrounding that makes you stop and stare. Bro, that's it. That's it. That is exactly what it should be when I de-stress. That is on me. Number 10, count me in. But I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm telling you, I love this article, how we de-stress. But besides from that, number 11, Chew ice.
No, so what I like to do is I don't do it now, but when I was working and moving around, driving to all kinds of places, sometimes it's like leaving the radio off, just listening to the road. Kind of what you're saying right here is sound. It listen to your senses as a sound. Kind of hearing the road, the cars, just not trying to clear my head of any thought, and just kind of be in the moment, right?
Mm,
And
yeah.
and that's how I use that to distress. Obviously, I you can do that with video games as well. I've done it through there.
Mm,
So
not me.
there's different ways, right? Not you, but I am a gamer, right? And that's one way I find it to distress yourself. And
Hey,
but most of
yes.
the
Hey,
time,
whatever
and one
floats
of
your
the things
boat.
that you mentioned is putting the phone down, right? You mentioned that when you're on a date, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nancy,
Flip it
you
over.
touched on flipping it over,
Yes.
that person be in the moment. But you know what? I found that also, if you guys got kids out there, also with your kids. So like I have my oldest, right? He's in soccer and everything. And sometimes I see these parents where they're on their phone, not really soaking up what their
Mm,
kids doing out there, and you're missing out, right? So it's like
mm,
I don't have my phone unless I'm recording him for a specific reason, but I have my phone down and I'm watching him. I'm soaking it in. I'm sorry, soaking it in, and it's just your kids because man, time flies so quick, and before you
Mhm.
realize they're all grown and you missed it.
mm, mm.
So it's like be in the moment, be in the senses, and put your phone down. That you know.
It's good.
Yep.
It's good. Nancy, what's jumping out at you? What do you do to de-stress that perhaps is not even on these top 10 besides going on a walk?
Um, I would say just, I've for me, I've had to just take a drive. Just take a
Mm,
drive,
there
Yo,
you
so you
go.
agree?
That's
even
Yeah.
number 11.
though, yes, even though I really didn't have a place to go or to be at, is just getting in my car and just driving. Sometimes I would have music off. Sometimes
Mhm.
I do it with music on. And most of the time, the music is just like worship music. And it just allows me to really open myself up to the higher power and just,
Yeah,
just having that one-on-one time with me and, God.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So yeah, just
Mhm.
taking a drive sometimes,
That's
you
good.
know.
That's good. I probably I'm gonna ruin that moment for you, and I'm so sorry. Uh, I don't know about you guys,
It's
but
okay.
do you guys do something to hype up? Is there anything you do to
Oh,
hype up? Like if I'm about to go into this meeting and I'm so
Woo!
nervous about it because it's such a large contract, or I'm about to break down because that person that's about to sit across from me is not a millionaire, it's a billionaire, and we could close something today. Do you guys do anything to hype up that day? I mean, Nancy, I think you're in nursing, right? You're doing nursing. I mean, there's got to be something that
Right,
you hype up
right.
because listen, nowadays with COVID, I'm sure you're like, man, I hope I don't get it today, right? I get it. I get it. So are y'all doing anything to hype up before you get into the mood?
um,
For me, it's hip hop. It's so weird. I got to jump into hip
I
hop to
was
get
just gonna
hyped
say
up.
that I have to listen to, yes, yes. I will turn my Ariana Grande Pandora station.
Okay. Okay.
so
Whatever
All
comes
so
right.
on first is what I.
yeah, singing along with screaming in the car as loud as you can, right?
Is that what you do, Alex?
No, no. I mean, I've done it before.
Right.
Hey, I'm guilty. I've done it, guys. You
Is
may
that what you do
see.
to hype up, bro? You do the same thing?
No, I've done it before. No, listen. And you know what? You were touching on that, and I was like, man, you know what? I've been in such an autopilot. Just
Mm.
I've been closing major big contracts. I'm talking like hundred.
Billions.
Well, not billions, but if one of them was a million,
Never know. You
right?
never know. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah,
what
yeah.
one that I closed was 1.1.
Billions. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But it's still it's closing these big contracts and it's still like on to the next one kind of scenario. And not really.
Dang.
I've been
You're
in
not
such
living
an
in the moment, man.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, you know what? We're saying this, and it's like, man, on my work stuff, I'm almost in autopilot, just going because I've been so busy that
So
I'm
I'm
not
I-
really soaking it up.
I'm not going to turn this into a therapy session real quick, but how are you celebrating those moments, bro? You got to celebrate those big moments, man. You
I'm doing
got
such a
to.
terrible job. Probably I need to.
Bro,
Yeah.
I closed the year with a 388% increase overall. You got to celebrate that, man. You got
Yeah.
to take time to celebrate those accomplishments. Nancy, when you go to school and you finish a semester, you finish a quarter, you got to take that time to celebrate, right? You got to recognize those moments, and instead of saying, oh, it's just another one, we're going to get to the next one. No, you got to celebrate those things, because here's the thing. It may not happen tomorrow, but here's the thing. You got to swing for that home run tomorrow, right? Babe Ruth said, which I don't even know if we should quote Babe Ruth because he's not a philosopher, but he made a great point when he says, today's home runs do not win tomorrow's games, bro. So you got to celebrate it, man. You got to celebrate those moments. You got to turn that autopilot off. This ain't a Tesla.
No. Correct. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, if anybody's out there, just like, I mean, we can learn from this, right? Is enjoying, like I was saying, enjoying with my son, but I'm not doing it in my professional career. And it's like learning how to balance that and be able to celebrate your personal life also with your career and celebrating those achievements. And you're
Hey, you
absolutely
can't
right.
leave your wife out of it, dude. What about your wife?
No, and she's included in my personal life, right? That's what I'm saying. It's just celebrating with the people that you love, and I don't want to leave her out because she's a very important piece to keep me running, right? And sometimes we don't see that, but it's also important. The dedication that she has is what allows us, and I'm sure Carlos, you're in the same boat. You
Oh
know,
man, you got to celebrate with the people that are around you, bro.
yeah. I mean, it's
You
whatever
got to
she
bring,
does. Yeah.
you got to invite them in, because
Yeah.
if it's the real ones, they'll celebrate with you, right? It's the
Yeah.
ones, here are the ones that I'm always like hesitant with. It's the ones that don't celebrate you, right?
Mhm.
It's the ones that never say, hey man, great job. Or, hey, I heard you guys did this. Hey, I heard you're killing that. Hey, this is good. It's those that you got to stay away from, man. It's they, right? Those are the ones that are around you, bro. Take them with you. Celebrate. Bring it together. I listen, you got to bring your posse with you, man. And you got to ball it up, because you got to celebrate what you just accomplished, right? Listen, tomorrow's not promised, man. And you got to live that way until you wake up, until you begin to live or realize that tomorrow's not promised and that you can lose everything in a matter of hours. Gulp, double gulp, right? Then you'll begin to learn, right, what really matters in life. So you got to celebrate it, man. And here we are talking about billions. I mean, let's look at this next piece, right? Talking millions, talking billions. What is up with this? Yeah.
Dude, this is such a good topic for today. And obviously, we had it on here because it's about money, it's finance,
of course.
right? But
Yeah.
what better than we have a person, a female, that can tell us why?
That's exactly why it's on there. There's somebody incredible who handles content. I don't know what we're going to do with that person. We got to reward them.
Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job. Just
fantastic job.
Able to switch our discussions here. But Nancy, I mean, billions. This industry is causing waves, right? Because now we're seeing in social media, they're creating their own brands. We got stores that are going straight to consumer. And what are we talking about, Carlos?
Influencers. We're talking about makeup. We're talking about Jeffree Star with his makeup line. We're talking about Kylie with her makeup line. We're talking about J-Lo with her makeup line. Selena Gomez. Yeah. Listen, every woman out there has got their makeup.
Alba. Yeah.
Jessica Alba. Let's say it again. Jessica Alba. Sorry.
Represent the Hispanic, right? With Selena and her, right? But
it wasn't J-Lo for that, too. But yeah, we could use that. That's fine.
That's fine. All right. But anyways, because
tell us, Nancy. I mean, tell it, Nancy. Okay, let's break this down. Who do you go to when it comes to makeup? What line?
Quite honestly, I don't have a specific brand that I buy. So one of the brands that I'm a bargainer. I don't usually go for like the high end brands. Okay. Just
you mean like Mac?
Sometimes,
like Mac?
Well, no. I do Tarte.
Okay, that's kind of high end, right?
It is.
The reason I say that is because I did my study before I entered this conversation. So I'm sorry, guys, if you're listening, it's only because of research. Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
So, sure, Carlos. So, I don't do the high. For the most part, if it's on sale, I will say I will. So usually for me, beginning of the year, end of the year is when I tend to go on Ulta or Tarte.com, Mac.com, you name it. I
Okay.
will buy whatever is on sale. I'm not, I'm broke. I'm a broke full-time employee, broke nurse. So I don't tend to go for like what's in. So,
Yeah.
or the most expensive, the most, you know, Kylie Jenner newest product. I don't do that, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
Sometimes that doesn't really matter. It's just the brand sometimes that they're selling. And so I don't go for that. No.
Yeah. Are you a BoxyCharm subscriber?
Oh no, no, no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no.
Okay. The
So,
reason I
so
ask is because it's a $532 billion industry. Billions.
It's
Their margins,
outrageous.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Their margins are incredibly huge. I
well,
mean, the only reason
Carlos,
Kylie Jenner hit billionaire
I
status
was
is
just
because
about to
of
say,
margins. Yeah, man.
but I was
No,
just
you're
about to
right.
say, Kylie used her influence and was one of the fastest companies to reach, $1 billion status or close to it. I mean, that companies that have done it, like Tom Ford, has been working to 500,000 or whatever. I mean, $500 million worth company or whatever over
Yeah.
the certain amount of years. 10 years it's taken them. She was able to do it what, a year, 2 years, because of high margins, influencing uh, drops where they were marketing correctly, right? Where there were exclusive drops, and all that helped.
Bro, it's all marketing, right? The marketing
But
funnel that's behind when it comes to any product, right? Marketing is always going to matter. It's the marketing funnel, how you shape it, how you target, and how you segment, right? Who are you specifically targeting, and how do you segment those specific customers, and how do you speak to them directly that when the execution takes place, the conversion rate is outrageous. Listen, I'll get on Instagram for the next 3-4 minutes, and before you know it, I've hit 2 to 3 ads on just, it could be the JLo brand, it can be the Jeffree Star brand, it can be the BoxyCharm. This is what
Becky
I'm asking,
G brand, whatever,
right?
right?
Yeah,
With
yeah.
and I've
But
been
I mean,
guilty, dude.
honestly, how much
Listen,
does stuff
listen,
cost?
listen.
Yeah.
I've been guilty because my wife likes makeup. She's deep into it. She does a lot of research, and sometimes they have like this special, like when Game of Thrones and we were the show, they came up with these nice little Game of Thrones like brushes and everything. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I got it for her, right? And she like that. Mario came out with his brushes and everything because
Who?
Kim Mario, which is Kim Kardashian's like,
Kim's? Oh, ese
yeah,
guy. Yeah,
like that
I know that
guy,
dude.
he
Yeah.
is super recognized in the industry. Came up with his own special brushes. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna treat her. I got her the set. So you got people like that,
Wait,
right?
what did you pay for that? Because he's all he is Kim's makeup person. What'd you pay for those brushes, bro?
No, they're legit. I think she really enjoys them. I mean, but it was probably
Really?
like $120 for a whole set, and it was like the like 12 brushes or something. And Nancy, correct me if
12
I'm wrong,
brushes at 120?
but they're like special. They're like whatever. Each brush has
Yeah.
its own little thing, dude. I'm telling you, this like is crazy.
Nancy, is that you affirming that they're good, or is that you affirming that that is incredibly $10 per pop?
No, it's legit. And I will say I don't own this specific brand of brushes. I own one that's much cheaper. I've used my sister's brush, and I will say they are worth the money because they do
You don't know, Carlos. See, you don't know.
they
You don't know, Carla.
there's
Yeah.
certain things that you can't buy cheap just because the material is a lot cheaper, and it just doesn't give
Blend
you a
or
good
whatever,
result.
right? Yeah, like
Yeah.
blending and all that stuff and doing what you have to
Yes.
do.
Oh, look at
And
you
Carlos,
talking contour.
no, but listen. I gotta. It's just my wife's into it. My cousin's wife is a professional makeup artist in Cali, right? Shout outs to
Yeah.
my fam down there. But like Anais, and she works for Mac as a
Okay.
consultant online, and
Okay.
she's done multiple weddings and everything. So I mean, if we really wanted to get to the juicy part of why, I mean, I can even try to get some information from them, right? But obviously the main subject to here is it's got crazy margins. People want to look beautiful, not that women aren't beautiful without makeup, but
Yeah.
it makes them feel
Yeah.
special. and it's okay, right? If they want to feel that way. And
It's just tools that help enhance the natural beauty that women have.
there you go. See,
Oh, that's
see, and
good. Oh,
Tools.
that's good. That's good. I like that. They're tools.
and I
That's
think,
good.
man,
So they're
that's a good
tools.
ending spot for it. I mean, makeup is just ridiculous.
It's incredible, man. Look, listen, we just talked about Lululemon. They recently announced, check this out. They recently announced that all of a sudden, again, it's a $532 billion market, right? 532 billion. Lululemon just announced that they're going to get into the personal skincare collection and they'll have
Mhm.
self-care products like shampoo, deodorant, and lip balm. You know good and well each of those products are going to run at least $20 to $30 each, if that. And then you've got brands. I mean, you've got brands like Target that are jumping in and they're making it extremely affordable, but everyone runs to the Target brand when they're not into jumping into a Jeffree Star, right? When they're not into jumping into a Target. And all of a sudden, you've got people like H&M that are jumping into it. You're getting $2 wet wipes. You're getting a $45 leather
They're
makeup
trying to
bag.
cut the middleman, right?
That's exactly what they're trying to do. Absolutely. But here's my point to all of this is the way the marketing is taking place in the day that we live in, that is how these products sell. And so if anything, I would say to you as the entrepreneur that is listening, if you've got an idea, if you're solving a problem, if you're trying to make something happen and you want to launch a product and you want to be that entrepreneur that is still trying to figure out how to do it, marketing is key. Influencers are playing a major role in this, and that's why that market is a major billion-dollar market. So, if anything, at the end of the day, don't forget that marketing is making billions, folks. Marketing is killing the fashion industry, especially the makeup industry. So that's my take on this. I'm just blown
So,
away of how quick these products have enhanced, honestly, the market in so many ways.
so Carlos, I don't know how much time we're on, but I think we gotta. I think
Oh, it's coming. Oh, it's
yeah.
coming.
I
Yeah.
think we probably need to speed past some of these, but I know that you had on here that you took this quiz, right? That
Yeah,
what
yeah,
were you
yeah.
in your past, and you made us
Yeah,
all take the quiz and to figure out what we were in our past life. And
so
so go.
I don't believe like my beliefs are nowhere near this, what's your past life? Were you a duck? Were you a turtle? No offense to those that do believe in that. That is not my belief. I respect your belief. But I recently got an email from a fellow, one of my employees sent me this because of something that we had said in a conversation. And he sent me this and he says, yeah, I don't think about taking it. And it was just for fun. So I took it and I figured I'd send it to you guys. So you would at least take it. But my past life, check this out. In my past life, after answering all the questions, right, it says that I became Britain's favorite all-time king, the former ruler of Camelot. I was honorable and always willing to get into a scrap. There you have it. I'm scrappy.
Scrappy.
Alex,
Nancy.
Nancy, what about you guys?
Go ahead, Nancy.
So in my past life, I must have been a philosopher. And if you talk to a few of my coworkers, that probably agree with it because I tend to preach a lot at work about just giving advice. So yeah.
Good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Alex,
So I got the
were
one of
you
our
a
founding.
barber? Were you a barber?
Uh, now one of our
Were
founding
you a
fathers.
thief? Were you a thief?
Actually, no, I was one of the founding fathers of the United States of America.
Oh my gosh, how did I not
Ben-
know this?
Benjamin Franklin. Is that's what it said? Like, is as I guess says on here because of science and reasoning and having the tranquility. I guess whatever I chose led to that. I think science is pushing our society further
Yeah,
and
the
further,
validity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so it put me to Benjamin Franklin. So that's what I got.
Well, that's good. That's good. You're missing the white hair, but I could see
Oh,
that.
it's getting there. You see my
Oh yeah,
little?
no, listen, I agree. That's
It's
why I
getting there.
tend to it only happens for me right here, and I tend to dye it
Goatee.
because it's really bad, bro. It's really bad.
Oh no, I
Uh
don't diet, but it's
I
there, and
do,
I
man.
got it.
I hate it. I hate it.
Nancy can attest to this. I got like a bunch of gray hairs all over the place.
Ah,
So,
yeah.
but
Well, if
At least
anybody
you
out there
got
wants to
hair.
take So
know what
if
he said.
anybody wants to take this test, make sure you get on to www.brainfall.com/quizzes/who were you in a past life. Good for you to do it around the table, perhaps a conversation starter. Hey, maybe even do it on a date, kind of awkward. I don't know. Maybe just a different kind of way of rolling. But listen, before we head out,
Don't do it on a date.
hey, take this quiz real quick. I want to find out what you were in the past life.
Where are you going with it? Go ahead.
So listen, we want to say thank you to Nancy for joining us today. It has certainly been a pleasure. We truly appreciate you sharing your experiences, responding to our crazy content. Would you agree, Alex?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Thank you for coming on, sharing
Yeah.
your experience, helping our fellow listeners out there, things of what they can do on a date and maybe things not to do on a date. Hopefully they've learned something, and thanks for coming on. Anything you want to share before Carlos gives us our quote of the day?
Yeah.
No, just thank you for having me. It was fun.
Yeah, it
No,
was a
good,
blast.
good.
No,
Yeah,
thanks.
no. We're glad you enjoyed yourself, but it's interesting what some of the things that you brought up today, Nancy, and some of the things that Alex has brought up kind of brings in what A.A. Mind said. This is another philosopher. It's interesting. You were chosen to be the philosopher of the evening, and A.A. Mind says, and I certainly want you to, all of us, to take this in, especially after some of today's conversations. It says, "You are braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." I'll say it again. You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. Alex?
Yeah, no, and guys, listen, share this video to with anybody that you think will get some value, or we're here to try to share something with you guys. There were some opinions. Sometimes they're correct, sometimes they're wrong. You may agree or disagree. If you don't, let us know in the comments. If there's a topic you guys want to research or want to know more about, let us know. Swipe up, share it, subscribe, like, whatever. Do whatever you need
Did you
to
see
do.
that? Did you see that
Yeah.
swipe up, like, comment?
Well,
All
anyways,
right, go
Carlos
ahead.
is
Go ahead.
doing
My
some
bad.
funny things with his hand. But anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. Nancy, once again, thank you for joining us. And with that being said, Carlos and Alex, we're out.
Peace.
Peace.